Hi. Let's breathe together, tune in together. Slow, deep breaths in the bottom of the stomach. Tuning in to a resonant field of presence together, putting behind whatever's come before this moment. Anything in the workplace, the family place, the roadways, any kind of ways, anything in the entire universe that's come before this moment, letting it go. Inhale this moment and exhale, letting go of that which no longer serves us, which is no longer necessary or healthy or needed. And opening ourselves to a deeper sense of this moment, here and now, together. The beauty of this moment, the magic of this moment, the miraculousness of this moment, the wonder, the awe, the simple majesty of this moment. Through innocent eyes, through innocent heart, through an innocent, open, expanded mind, through a relaxed, open, present body as a channel for the divine intelligence, the infinite divine universal creative intelligence, also known as God, to move through us. Breathe in, exhale, 2 more, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. When you're ready, open your eyes with fresh, innocent eyes as if you're seeing life for the first time. Just take a few moments to look around the space in silence. Notice if things feel a bit more alive, radiant, colorful, vital, present. Welcome to a deeper here and now. Namaste, Tracy Grigg. Blessings down under in the land of Oz, Australia, where it's what's today? Tuesday? Hey Zara, good to see you live. Beautiful. What day is it there, Tracy? Tuesday, Wednesday? After midnight? Zara joining us from the UAE, right Zara? United Arab Emirates. Where are you from, Anthony? I feel like you're from New York. Is that true? Wednesday, 2:11 in the morning. Wonderful. It's amazing how we can have so many different times and days. Sorry, I'm trying to make a small adjustment here. Times and days and months and years and geographies and lands and nations and cities and countries and yet it's all just now. You know, it's like the name is the same, is different, the label is different, The form is different, the shape is different, the number is different, the latitude and longitude is different, but it's still always right now. It's never not right now. Welcome, Anne. Where are you from? That's the great realization, this realization that it's always right now. So if we can tune in to what's happening now, we tune into where it's happening. Hey, Amish. Oh, wow. Wonderful. We got a contingent of folks from down under, New Zealand and Australia and the UAE, in multitude in the house. So I did an emergency session with someone last night who was having really intense anxiety. Couldn't sleep, jitters, shaking, hands are cold. And so I get on the phone with her, and what's evident when you're in these spaces, but you can't see it when you're in this space, is that everything that you're having this intense anxiety about is created by the mind. It's created by the mind, and the mind creates stories about the future. And the mind creates, in this case, negative stories about the future. And the mind creates the sense that these stories are what's going to happen in the future. And then you feel more and more boxed in by this horrible future that you're going to have. And then if this happens, that'll make this happen. And if that happens, that'll make this happen, which will make this happen, which will make that happen. And all these terrible things are going to happen, and you're 7-8 steps down the road, and then you realize, wait a second. If you have a clear mirror, you'll realize, wait a second. None of that's actually ever even happened. I'm just laying here in bed, looking at a wall. I'm just sitting here in a chair, wearing a blue shirt. You come back to what's actually happening in this moment. What's here in this moment. And what's here in this moment is so simple. Almost always it's so simple. 99.9% of the time it's so simple. And if it's not simple, if you're being attacked by a grizzly bear, then you still need to be in the moment to respond in the moment, right? So thinking 7-8 steps down the road and being locked in there and thinking that that's the only way it's ever going to be isn't helping you or serving you in a positive way. So when we start to tune into this moment, when we start to tune into the breath, which is in this moment, we breathe, we're brought back to our senses, we're brought back to our bodies, we're brought back to feeling, we're brought back to sensation, we're brought back to what's here in present moment awareness without the priority to interpret the story or and analyze or judge, but to really fully be present in here and now. And that's when this inner peace, this depth of inner peace, this boundless freedom, this unconditional love, this empowerment is realized and brought into awareness. It's here. It's always been here. And it's here now, and it always will be here. If it's not something that's always been here, that's always here now, and always will be here, that's the best way to know that it's not what I'm talking about, and it's not what I'm pointing to. Anything that's temporary, that comes and goes, that's fleeting, isn't really that important. What's important is that which is ever present. What's primary is that which is ever present. What's most essential is that which is absolute, which does not come or go, which is unchanging, which is the essence of who we truly are. This is the spiritual realization. This is the spiritual awakening. This is the spiritual liberation. To realize the essence of who you are beyond form, beyond shape, beyond size, beyond physicality, beyond thought, beyond emotion, beyond feeling, beyond sensation, yet including all that is in the relative world of form. that God is everywhere, in all things, and beyond and transcending all things at the same time. That's true, Tracy. Hi, Martin. Welcome. So, a quick point about abundance, since it's in the title. To rise to this essence, to rise, to rise, to rise. And yet, as Tracy points to, it's here now. It's here right now. It's bringing in the awareness. And those of you who've been tuning in every day, who've been a part of this growing community, this live Facebook Big Glow community every day, you're on this journey. We're on this journey together. It's a paradox. It's a journey that's moving into a deeper heart of a deeper sense of now and here. And in this here and now, there's infinite possibility. There's infinite possibility. Because this is where everything is happening. So what is abundance? You know, there's a lot of talk about abundance. I want abundance. And people talk of abundance as meaning, I want lots of money. I want lots of houses. I want lots of cars. I want lots of material things. I want lots of jewelry. I want lots of, I don't know what, an island? I don't know, a planet, a galaxy. You want big, big things, right? So I'll get into more of this in more detail in a future episode, because it's so much of the heart of everything that we're getting at. But just one point today, essential point today, and we'll expand upon it later. The call for abundance is the essence for who we truly are. Okay? Let that sink in for a minute. The call for abundance, this desire for abundance, is the desire for who we truly are and what we truly are. The call for abundance is the call and desire for who we truly are and what we truly are. So the reason we want abundance is really because we want ourselves, and we've lost ourselves. We want the feeling of abundance. We don't want the thing. We want the feeling of abundance that the thing we think will bring. However, whatever the thing is, it has a sense of limitation. It's not truly abundant. And this is why it's a losing game. And this is what the great spiritual beings, the great spiritual seers, the great spiritual masters were pointing at. They were pointing to you to find the real, true abundance. In the Bible it says, do not worship false gods. This doesn't mean you have to shun material things and to get to some greater good in the future, to get to some greater heaven in the future. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a matter of realizing the truth of who you are and not being lured by distraction. So, if you have $1 million, or €1 million, or $1 million whatever, where you're listening, you do not have $1,000,001. You see that? So that's not abundance. That's scarcity. $1 million is scarcity. Meaning it has a limit. It has a finite attitude. If you have 6 houses, you don't have that 7th house over there. You see that? If you have 10 really nice suits or really beautiful dresses, you don't have that 11th one over there. Right? So in the world of form, in the world of space and time, everything is finite. There's always a limit. No matter how much you have, there's something that you don't have. That's in the world of form. And that's the nature of form. The nature of form is limitation. So the great awakening, the great spiritual teaching is not to renounce the world, not to renounce material things, but to realize that you're looking for abundance in the wrong direction. You're looking for abundance in the wrong direction. The great, great, amazing, miraculous, magical realization is the abundance is you. You are the abundance. You are abundant. You are abundance itself. You're the definition of abundance. You are the field of infinite possibility. When you realize who you are, which transcends time, which transcends space, which transcends physicality, which transcends experience, that includes spiritual experience. What we label as spiritual experience, it transcends spiritual experience. Why? Because what we call spiritual experience is limited. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. It comes and it goes. It's not abundant. The essence of who we are is abundant. This is the great realization. That means it has no borders, it has no boundaries, it has no beginning, it has no end, it has no middle. Which means you have no borders, you have no boundaries, you have beginning, you have no beginning, you have no end, you have no middle. Walt Whitman said, one of my favorite poets, said, I am not contained between my hat and my boots. You feel that? So we've been deluded into thinking that we're caught inside a little body, which is scarcity. We've been deluded into thinking that we're reduced to chasing money or chasing material objects to get a sense of feeling of abundance, instead of turning within and realizing the abundance is our essential nature. And there's nothing we need to do to achieve it. There's nowhere we need to go to get it. There's nothing that needs to happen to discover it. It is the essence of who we are. It is the essence of what everything is. It is the universal creative intelligence of infinite possibility that transcends form, transcends objects, material objects, transcends that which we see, transcends the senses. What has been called spirit, what has been called being spiritual. Being spiritual is not mean that you're chanting and you're using crystals and you're reading certain books and you're listening to certain kind of music and you're going to a certain kind of temple or chapel or mosque or whatever. It means you have realized who you are. And when you realize who you truly are and what you truly are and the essence of who you are, then you can play in all those things. Then you can play with the world of form. Because you realize who and what you truly are. You can play with money, you can play with material objects, you can play with clothing, you can dress up, you can play dress up, you can play with spiritual lifestyles, you can play with other people, you can play with animals, you can play with the stars, you can play with the clouds, you can play with the moon, you can play with the ocean, you can play with rivers and lakes, you can play with mountains, you can play with forests, you can play in the world of form. Because as Jesus said, you are in this world but not of it. So you play with the world as an expression, as a multi-diverse expression of the one and only indivisible light, which is ever abundant because it's formless. This is the key. It's ever abundant because it's formless. You are ever abundant because you're formless. I am ever abundant because I'm formless. As soon as I have a form, or I'm lost in the identification and attachment that all I am is the form, and I've lost the awareness of my essential nature, which is the formless, then I'm in a world of scarcity and I've lost the sense of abundance. So to open up to this depth of realization, spiritual awakening, of self-realization to the infinite essence of who we are, is the essence of abundance. And to realize the essence of abundance. And the rest is not coming from a place of lack, then, of trying to seek abundance, but from the field of creation, from the infinite field of creation, of creativity, of being a clear channel for the universal creative intelligence, God, to move through us in each and every moment and to create new worlds, new universes through the clear channel that we are, and to express it in the world of form. That's good stuff, huh? Look at some of the comments. So one key point, Zara, is it's easy to get into a space that we think the world of form is bad. The world of form is the problem. The world of form must be escaped from, must be resisted, must be removed. However, and by the way, that's what most religions are all based on, that principle. But we're moving into a new understanding, a new realization, a new awakening now, that the world of form doesn't need to be escaped from, doesn't need to be run from, doesn't need to be removed. Because if we realize that the world of form is what we could call a dream, right? Let's use the word dream right now. So it's a dream. So this infinite essence, this infinite light is really all there is. And that's really all we are, have been, and ever shall be. Then to try to escape the dream must mean that you think it's real. Right? If you're trying to escape the dream, it must mean that you think it's real. Because if you realized it was just a dream, there'd be no reason to try to escape it. In fact, it wouldn't even be necessary to try to escape it. Blessing, I love it, yes. In fact, from this awakening, from this realization, from this consciousness, everything is a blessing, right? Gratitude. Gratitude for all that is. Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you ever say your entire life is thank you, that should suffice. That should be enough. Thank you. And that's true, you know, just to be in a state of gratitude. Even the things that seem challenging, even the things that seem painful, even the things that seem difficult, even the things that are scary, right? Gratitude. Why? Because what you're seeing is really just a reflection of this one divine infinite light. So to realize that is the awakening. And then, what happens when we can play in this field together? This field of the divine infinite light together. What happens when we can express and play and create from this realization together, that all is God, that all is the one light, that all is divine, all is a reflection of myself, all is a reflection of the one in many forms, in a multitude of forms. Then we've transcended the consciousness of scarcity, and then we're no longer trying to just seek survival and, you know, grasp onto things, hang on in this fear-based consciousness. Now we're in the abundance consciousness, and from this abundance consciousness, there's no sense of lack. And whatever form expresses itself, whatever form is playing, whatever forms we create, whatever forms are created, it's like a river flowing, reflecting the light of the sun in infinite, diverse, myriad of ways. Thank you all so much for being here. Remember to check the links if you want to dive in deeper. They're there for a reason. So personal coaching sessions, the books to have with you, ebook available by ebook, available hard copy, Bigelow's available as an audiobook as well. Some upcoming public events, some 3-day retreats coming up. Please make a donation if you can. Sign up for the mailing list. I'm putting out direct writings on Fridays to folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love. In you, I see myself, and you're looking good.